All right, so have you seen these AI images where like cartoon characters get turned into real people? It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's really something else.
Today we're going to dive deep into how that tech actually works.
Mm.
We're going beyond just like the wow factor to the actual science underneath.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be looking at a video by ByCloud that breaks down the AI research.
Okay.
So yeah, get ready for some seriously cool insights.
Tough good.
I mean, it's mind-blowing how fast this stuff is all progressing.
Oh, yeah.
Just a year ago, we were like, whoa, look at the AI smooth out that video, or look, it can colorize old photos.
Right.
Now it's like full-on photorealistic faces from cartoons.
It's really incredible.
Like you could put these pictures on a driver's license almost.
Yeah.
So how does a computer even know how to make a cartoon face into a real one?
Well, a lot of this comes down to something called StyleGAN 2.
Okay.
It's an AI model, but think of it like a machine with a bunch of dials.
Okay.
These are called parameters, and each one controls a teeny tiny little detail of the face.
Oh, wow.
Like, eye shape, nose size, even like freckles.
Oh, so it's kind of like one of those old sound mixing boards?
Yeah.
Instead of like bass and treble, you're messing with cheekbones and eyebrow arch?
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's a great way to think about it.
So, but the thing is, from what I understand early on, those dials on StyleGAN 2 were kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Like you try to get it to make one specific feature and it would just be all over the place.
Right. It was very inconsistent.
So it was hard to get like the exact face you wanted.
Yes.
So like trying to bake a cake, but your oven's temperature is all messed up. Like it's close, but not quite right.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing this is where the encoding and style research comes in.
Yes, you got it.
Like imagine if you swapped out those old dials with like the super precise ones that scientists use. That's essentially what this new research did.
It allowed for like really precise manipulation.
Wow.
Of specific features at different levels of detail.
So like really fine-tuning.
Yes, and that gave StyleGAN 2 a huge boost in precision.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
So now we have this like ultra precise StyleGAN 2.
Right.
What are people actually doing with it?
What?
I mean, I'm guessing cartoon to real life is just like one thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's gotta be more.
Yeah, so one of the coolest things is that it can do super resolution for blurry faces.
What does that mean?
So basically the AI looks at a blurry face and imagines what it would look like in high definition.
Whoa.
And then it fills in all the missing details.
Oh, so like an AI detective looking at a blurry photo from a security camera
Exactly.
and piecing it all together?
Yeah.
Does it only work on faces, though?
Well, remember how we were talking about the dials that control features?
Yeah.
Well, researchers can take a sketch.
Okay.
And just by analyzing where like the key features are placed, they can translate that into a photorealistic face.
Oh, wow. So it's like it's reading the artist's mind.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
So we've got blurry photos to clear photos. We've got sketches turning into photos.
Right.
What else is on the StyleGAN 2 highlight reel?
Well, you know how in those crime shows they like reconstruct a face from a skull?
Yeah.
Well, turns out StyleGAN 2 can kind of do something like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's called face frontalization.
Okay.
So you give it a side profile picture, and it can generate a full-on front-facing image.
That is both amazing and kind of spooky.
It is.
Like, are we talking like the same level of detail as those forensic artists on TV?
Pretty much, yeah. And it all goes back to that precise control over facial features.
Right.
It's like having this super detailed blueprint for a face.
Okay.
And StyleGAN 2 knows exactly how to use it.
So we've got enhancing blurry photos, bringing sketches to life, and now generating faces from side profiles.
Right.
It's kind of mind-boggling, honestly.
Yeah.
How does StyleGAN 2 even compare to other AI models out there?
That's a good question.
Like, is it the top dog?
Well, to really understand what makes StyleGAN 2 special, we kind of need to understand how these AI models work at like a basic level.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Have you ever heard of generative adversarial networks?
I've heard the term like JANs.
Yes, JANs, exactly.
But I definitely need a refresher.
Okay, so basically it's one of those things I hear all the time, but I don't really get.
Yeah, so imagine you have like two neural networks.
Okay.
Kind of like two super smart computer programs, and they're in this constant battle.
Okay.
So one network The generator
Okay.
is trying to create realistic images, like faces in our case.
Right.
And then the other network, the discriminator,
Okay.
is judging those images, trying to figure out if they're real or fake.
So it's like an AI art critic constantly pushing the AI artist to do better.
Exactly.
I like
And
that.
through this back and forth competition, they both actually get better and better.
Oh, wow.
So the generator learns to create more realistic images to try and fool the discriminator.
And the discriminator gets better at spotting the fakes.
So they're both learning from each other.
Exactly. Yeah, it's this constant improvement.
Wow, that's so cool.
And StyleGAN 2 builds upon this concept,
Okay.
but it has a much more sophisticated way of controlling the features of the image.
So it's like Jans on steroids.
Yeah, you could say that.
So StyleGAN 2 isn't just creating images. It's constantly learning and refining its skills through this AI battle royale.
Precisely.
Okay, I think I'm getting it now.
Good.
So that's how it gets such impressive results.
Yeah.
But even with all that power and precision, there's got to be some limitations, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What are some of the things it struggles with?
Well, like you mentioned before, it doesn't really work that well with anime characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, anime characters often have very exaggerated features
Oh, yeah.
and kind of simplified details, like, huge eyes, spiky hair,
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
And StyleGAN 2, as good as it is, it still needs those realistic proportions and details to create a face that looks believable.
So even though it can make a photorealistic Wolverine, it can't quite nail those big anime eyes.
Not yet, anyway.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe StyleGAN 3 or something.
Right, exactly.
But for now, it's a good reminder that even the most advanced AI has its limits.
Yeah, for sure.
This has been super insightful.
Glad to hear it.
We started with cartoons turning into real people, and now we're talking about neural networks duking it out.
It's a wild world.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's clear this technology is advancing crazy fast.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, what about the downsides? Things are moving so fast.
Yeah.
It's hard not to worry about unintended consequences.
Right. And that's a really crucial point.
Yeah.
And it's honestly something we all need to be thinking about. It's super cool to see StyleGAN 2 bring those Disney characters to life. But what happens when this tech gets into the wrong hands?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This power to create these hyper-realistic images,
Right.
it could so easily be used for deep fakes
Uh-huh.
or spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
And then suddenly seeing is believing takes on a whole new meaning.
Absolutely.
It's scary.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we're trusting our eyes less and less.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest challenges we face with AI in general, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
It's amazing what it can do, but it raises all these ethical questions.
You hit the nail on the head.
It's a lot to think about.
It really is.
It's a lot to process, for sure.
It is.
We've gone from AI turning cartoons into real people to talking about the ethics of creating these hyper-realistic images.
Right.
It feels like we're in uncharted territory.
We are. And any unexplored landscape,
Yeah.
there's incredible opportunities,
Right.
but also potential dangers.
Yeah. So how do we navigate this? It's exciting to see what StyleGAN 2 can do,
Yeah,
but the potential for misuse is kind of unsettling.
I understand. Yeah, it's a really powerful technology.
Yeah.
And it's moving so fast.
Right.
It's important that we don't just sit back and watch it happen. We have to be involved.
Yeah. But how do we do that?
Well, I think the first step is awareness.
Okay.
The more people understand how this tech works, both its capabilities and its limitations,
Yeah.
the better we can make decisions about how it's used.
Yeah. So educating ourselves and others is the first step.
Exactly.
But what about the people who are actually developing this technology?
Yeah.
Do they have a responsibility to think about the ethical implications?
Absolutely. They have a huge responsibility
Yeah.
to think critically about the potential consequences of what they're creating. It's not enough to just make these powerful tools.
Right.
You have to consider how they might be used.
Right. For good or for bad.
Exactly.
So it sounds like we need a multifaceted approach. Developers need to be mindful. Policymakers need to create some guidelines.
Right.
And the public needs to be informed.
Yeah. It's a lot to juggle.
It is, but I'm optimistic.
We do.
Throughout history, we've adapted to new technologies and
Yeah.
found ways to use them for good.
Right.
Hopefully, this will be the same.
I think it will.
So we've talked a lot about the challenges, but let's not forget the positive potential here.
That's not.
Are there areas where you see StyleGAN 2 or AI image generation in general
Yeah.
having like a really beneficial impact?
Oh, absolutely. There's so much potential.
Like what?
Well, in medicine, for example,
Okay.
imagine using AI to enhance medical images
Oh, wow.
so doctors can diagnose and treat diseases better.
That would be huge.
Or think about using AI to create really realistic simulations
Okay.
for surgical training.
Wow, yeah, so they can practice before doing the real thing.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And what about art and design? AI could be an amazing tool for creative expression.
Like a whole new kind of art.
Right. Artists could explore all kinds of new ideas.
Push the boundaries.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
It's a very exciting time.
It really is.
And I think it's important to remember
Mm-hmm.
that even with all the ethical concerns and risks,
Yeah,
there's still this sense of wonder and possibility.
that's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in the negative stuff.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't lose sight of the good stuff.
Exactly.
That's a great note to end on, I think.
I think so too.
This technology is powerful.
It is.
It's changing quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to us to figure out its future.
Well said.
So we've covered a lot today.
Yeah, we have.
From the inner workings of StyleGAN 2
Uh-huh.
to the ethical considerations of AI image generation.
It's been a great conversation.
It really has been a fascinating deep dive.
Yeah.
And I hope you, the listener, have learned some new things along the way.
Me too.
And of course, a big thank you to ByCloud for creating such a thought-provoking video
Mm-hmm.
that sparked this whole conversation.
Yeah, great video.
Definitely check out their channel for more deep dives into the world of AI.
For sure.
And until next time, keep exploring,
Yeah,
keep questioning, and keep those thinking caps on.
absolutely.
The future is waiting to be imagined.